Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Goat Media Invest, guys. We are back above, we were kind of slightly back above $80,000, but right now Bitcoin is up 1.84% on the day. Ethereum is up 3.24%, BNB about 2%. Same goes for XRP. You see Tether a little plus 0.02% here. Got a couple of other ones in here. Just under 1% for Zcash. I was looking at that one. Solana. Now, note that Solana again. Meme coins really push Solana. So all of Solana meme coins with the swapping and the fees and all of that good stuff. It's crushing. It's crushing. Let's remember this one was down quite a bit. Chainlink up 5%. That's looking pretty good right there. Monero about 1%, and Cardano just above 2%. Dogecoin I see in here is almost about 3% up. Let's take a look at the meme coins real quick here and see what we're looking like. Yep, Dogecoin almost about 3% up. Shiba Inu 2.3. PayPay. Whoop, baby. I haven't looked at PayPay in a minute, but that's kind of nice right there. I don't play around with the meme coins too much, but they can be interesting to look at. Not sure what is this? Oh, 28%. I never heard of it. Never heard of it. She got some low liquidity meme coins in here that are doing what low liquidity meme coins do, right? All right, so looking pretty good right there. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin charts. All righty, over here on Bitcoin, I gave a trade setup. What day was this? Tuesday. Tuesday it was. We were seeing a rejection from in here, seeing a rejection off of our 382 50% retracement. So it was really quick. I didn't say a lot in my tweet, but I did give it to you. I did give it to you and just told you what you need to watch for because we were rejecting at the again the 382 50% retracement right in here, which is typically not a good thing. And when I see that, I look for the extended move to the downside. So we got like a little 5-wave move price action in here. So that golden pocket, it's exactly where you got that bounce from. You bounced off of it twice. So, and you know how they say, give it in advance. It's the craziest crap ever. I just needed to do it. I just needed to do it. The trend line has been adjusted. This one right here, you'll see the difference on the chart, but it was adjusted for the new information that came in right behind the drop over here. The drop over here. So I then adjusted it just to see if we would reject from it, and yeah, sure enough, that's the. This is the setup right here, what we were looking at with the 5-wave move in here. It hasn't been a lot for me to really talk about because a lot of stuff has been sideways and it just hasn't, like, other than the stuff that I did mention on the last stream. I didn't stream yesterday, which was Wednesday. So Tuesday, since Tuesday streamed, the things that I was looking for from Tuesday, those things have have played out. But this was that here for Biddy right here. So kudos to you if you took that trade. If you don't follow me, I mean you can. I'm down to crypto TA on X. So it may not always be crypto. So let's be clear about that. A lot of times it's just going to be stock market stuff. Whatever I'm feeling the most confident in is probably what I'm going to be looking at. But we have gotten back above the broadening here. And I could just show you right here. Initially, this was like this. It's like this. But it wasn't about this. It was about this part in here because we're going to break this anyway, right? And so we got up that. I adjusted it for the new information. So I could see when we got this drop down if it was going to reject, and we did. And sure enough, like I said, we came back into that golden pocket back test. We're back above it. We even did a little bit of a back test right here. You can see that pop up right there, and then that move back down to back test it. So we'll see if we're going to continue to hold this. Right now, we're a little bit. Uh, we're a little bit we were at least a little bit extended in here compared to volume, right? So when we got Oh, I just need to turn them back on over here. I got me a new toy. Also, I got me a new toy right here. But when we got this initial push up right here, you can see that nice little juicy candle right there. We then started to slow down in the volume as we started to get a little bit extended in here. I think that we were pushing up here, and we were like at a 80 on the RSI, and that didn't work with the volume. So you're seeing a little bit of a pullback in here right now. What I want to see in this case right here, typically a 60 RSI would be your bounce zone, but we don't want to do anything more than, let's just say, the 50% fib retrace, 50% extension. Not ex- Yeah, 50%. So a mean reversion is about the most we want to see. Really, if we can maintain right here around this orange moving average right here, that'd be great. Um, to show some strength, it'll be what's a good example? Yeah, we're not strong enough with this volume. So maybe we come back here and do a mean reversion, and then we get a bounce up if we don't hold here. Okay. I'm not going to be too quick to jump in on anything. Um, not to the downside. This was a Bollinger Band expansion. So that's why I'm trying to be a little bit more cautious in here. Like you can see like the consolidation in here, the possible tightening that was in here as well, because it's forming a nozzle nose is what I like to refer to it at. So a little triangle in here. So that means compression for the breakup. What I'm looking at is somewhere around the lower side of the 80,000s. I was really looking in here around about 81 to 82, something like that. I think that would put us into the golden pocket as well. But that's what I'm really looking for if this expansion continues to play out. But like I said, a little bit toppy in here for the volume that we had. So I would have expected that rejection coming in off around that 80. Let's take a look at the lower bound indicators in here and just see. So yeah, so you can see this rejection right here. It's quite a bit extended. I went through and tried to make my charts look a little bit prettier. Um, and change a whole lot of stuff around. Now that we've gotten that initial big push up. So this is where you want to see price action be able to maintain. And let's see if we get that. Do want to add some music to the stream here because we are just a little bit of something in here. I need to get some new music. Oh boy. It's a nice little reaction right there. See if we can't get that. It's a pretty decent spread right here. So just the mean reversion on the RSI should be the max if it really has the strength that we're looking for. And this Bollinger expansion is going to continue to play out. I'm gonna take the volume away from the chart for now. And let's turn off that kinetic right there. I'm gonna just throw on this so you can see, okay, 20 SMA back testing here as well. So that's the mean reversion on the Bollinger Band. Perfect. For the expansion, you can see what I'm talking about right here. So on the initial move up, I don't pay a lot of attention to being overextended unless volume is like, yeah, you're probably going to come back a little bit. I don't really pay too much attention to it. On the second push up, it starts to become different because if you've gotten that pull back anywhere to your standard deviation, or we'll just say the 20 SMA, a lot of times when you fall below your bandwidth one, which is the orange one right here, that's usually where you start to see your bottom side start to curve in. So any pushes after that could start to really be extended. That's why I really start to look. The first move, you're gonna automatically be extended. Like it's just it just is what it is. Like the first move out is going to register overextended. It's after that, what happens after you get that initial move and a pullback. What happens after that is what's really important um, to being extended. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. Just oh, I turned it up. No, no, no. It's supposed to be jazz, guys. I really need to get some new music, but that's supposed to be jazz. But yep, this looks pretty decent. That's just showing that volatility is cooling somewhat again when you start to turn up, and you're going to start turning up again after you get a move down below bandwidth one. You typically start to turn up at the bottom, so you got a little bit of cooling in here. It can be different on the next time frame. So I'm going to just push over here to the 1 hour time frame and take a look at that. You can see how we were over here on the 1 hour time frame. I had already put some notes in here yesterday as I was looking at the compression that was in here, and this is like the expansion that I'm looking for. I didn't post on this simply because I'd already given the entry and that entry was being respected. So there was nothing else to say about Bitcoin. Let's just keep it where it is. While it's good. Okay. But I was looking for the expansion to the upside and to the downside. And like I said, somewhere around in here, around the lower side of the 80s is what I'm looking for. Typically a 2 to 3 deviation. And you can see the, let me turn this off here. You can see the compression that was right in here. And this was not the best breakout on the 1 hour. Not at all. That's not the best breakout. That's not how you really want to see it happen. So already coming in with some weakness. Let's see, we could have hit the golden pocket 786 fit retracement as well. So psychological level for people to be like, nah, son. And that could be a lower high, it can be. So let me just add go dynamic duo. So yeah, golden pocket 786 fit rejection. That could be it. I just really want to see. I'm gonna take this away. I just really want to see it. Well, get into that golden pocket for one. Maybe too many eyes are looking at the golden pocket. Maybe we're going to finish playing the move out to the downside, which would be somewhere roughly around in here. I believe it is somewhere roughly in here for a 382 50% fib retracement would be down in here. Maybe we do that. Maybe we're here for a long time, because if it is a wave four, it's going to be boring. It's going to be sideways, and the bears are going to come out and say uh, it was a bull trap, right? I don't think anybody who took the long from the low is trapped. They made money. That's just it. I get so sick and tired of hearing that bull trap. No, if you got it from the low and you made money off of it, how is that trapping? That's called making money. Same thing if the bears, if it starts going in the favor of the bears. I'm not gonna call it a bear trap. If you made money, you're not trapped. You made money, right? Anyway, but yeah, golden pocket 786 rejection here, a bit. So it's a bit extended in here. Not really. Not really for this time frame. I think when I last looked at it, when we did this was a little bit different. I think it was like a 70 RSI um, for um, for this 1 hour time frame. No, it was 80. But this setting is different too, so never mind that. But yeah, so not the best, again, not the best expansion here on the 1 hour. I don't like that. I can say I don't like that. But let's see if this 15-minute can't hold up. But that is exactly what I'm looking for, is a 2 to 3 extension here on the Bollinger breakout is what I was looking for in here for this one. A little tight. Sir, you're already in here. I'm going to delete one of these out of here. Um, yeah, you're coming in twice.
Oh, I didn't have that. See, it disappeared on me.
Okay. My partner in crime. So still a little tight and weak in here. It looks like we would just automatically put in bearish divergence. We may have already had it, and I really just didn't pay attention to it. Yeah, looks like we might have had exaggerated bear divs in here already. So not looking the best with that failed Bollinger breakout, the little topping candle we have in here as well. Let me push over here on the 4 hour. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm looking for right in here. I'm probably gonna have to adjust this now. But this is the 382 50% retracement somewhere between 74,000 and 72,000, just around those numbers off there. This is what I would like to see if this is a wave four. Maybe, I mean, it's possible that that could have been completed, and all we have right now is um, we're just finishing out here. So this could be something ending right here. So it could just be an ending here. Let me make sure this line is a little bit better. Make sure it's okay. I want to give you a line and then it's breaking and then it's not correct. Okay. All right, that one's fine. All right. So yeah, could be something ending. One, two. Let's see. I would expect for it to end up here, though. Let's just assume that. Let's just assume. I would expect for that to be it, and then which would be the golden pocket. So I'm still holding out for that. Although we're at major resistance, I would be holding out for that. Yeah, and never mind the Ellioticians saying it's not ABCDE. It's the point. It's the principle. I'm just trying to make a point. Uh, when I do that, I'm just trying to make a point because I'm not an Elliotician, but I can if I can define it pretty easy. I got my style of figuring it out. Let me put it to you like that. I got my style of figuring it out, and it's usually right. So that's I guess that's what I would be looking for here. But again, we're still at this major resistance in here. Nothing's changed with this little area up here. I may not have that in here. I don't. But let me just add this right here real quick so you can see we're still, yeah, we're still at major resistance in here. Whether you look at that or you look at the other one, we're still at major resistance for BTC 4 hour time frame. Oh, let's see. I like that enough that I can take this off. But yeah, can take that off over here. That's not a cute candle, that's for sure. And of course, the trend line that's coming across here, like you can do this differently. I was just using this over here just as a way of gauging where that resistance could come in at. But you can change that. You can do a channel or something like that and see if that fits the narrative. Um, we already had the VWAPs in here. I put like 3 VWAPs in here, a low, a standard, and then a high VWAP in here just to capture the resistance through here as well. But you can choose to do something like that. Can choose to do that as well. Which that, mm, or, you know, I said over here, um, should VWAP resistance, whether you anchor it from the high or you anchor it from the consolidation range, because we're still sideways. You know that? Do you know we're still sideways? We're still like we're still sideways. This is our biggest volume spike came in right here, and we're still at these lows. We're just looking to change market structure or sweep this liquidity. It doesn't have to happen in this fashion where we take this out first. We can pull back and get a higher low and come back up and take this one out, but we're still just sideways. We haven't done anything yet. So this sideways move right here still puts it right here. And this is that golden pocket 786 without me having to have the lines in here. That's the golden pocket 786 right there. Um, on this sideways price action that we're in right here, just sideways. But that move looked good. It looked good on paper. It looks real good on paper, but we are still just sideways. Don't get it twisted. And for a sideways range, this is it. Blocked until that volatility changes and we start to see an expansion. This is what we have right now. So just trying to get into that golden pocket. That's all I keep pushing for. And like I said, whether or not you do it like this, I tend to do this when we start to consolidate. So this is my go-to for consolidation, so I can find where we might go cap and might go uh, bottom. I do this. And you can also do your volume, fixed volume range profile. You can do that as well. I do both of them, but I do this for extensions. So the Bollinger Band breakout that we got, typically it's hard to really tell. You can okay. You can just do the channel and measure out your deviations on it, which that deviation would have came in right here. It would have came in right here regardless. Or you can do this right here. So when your Bollinger Band breaks out, then you can see where you're going to cap at, because you don't know until you start to get that pullback in that curve at the bottom on your Bollinger Band if it's breaking up, or the curve at the top. But that is where we are. You can again also, and I've looked at this multiple ways. You can do your anchor from here. I'm gonna have to turn some stuff off because I know it's gonna do that. Hold on. Let me turn these off. You can do your anchor from the top. We had already looked at that, and I had already changed my anchor VWAP settings and pushed it for a high, which just simply takes it all the way to the top of that candle wick to look at the resistance. And so we haven't actually tapped that one yet. We're close to it, but we haven't tapped it if you move it for a high, as opposed to the standard high low close divided by 3. Okay, so that's going to be right there. But theoretically, when we do, and you can see how we chiseling on this one, tap, 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 tap on that one, chiseling on it with that one candle that pushed through right there with the top and tail there. Theoretically, if we're not seeing a little bit of an expand on this VWAP, and we get into this golden pocket 786, I would not be looking for this to happen. I would not be looking for that to happen, although it can. It's not what I'm looking for, but it's something to keep in mind. Okay, it's somewhere to watch in case it does, in case it pushes through that golden pocket. It's something to watch for, guys. Okay, I just want you to have a plan. This is just planning. So plan around this. Again, I do 2.5, and 3. Maybe if it's more volatile, we would need to move it. But I do 2.5, and 3, because 3 is is less common, but in a volatile situation, that thing definitely gets hit. All right, so that's that. Get rid of this one. But I tested this from multiple angles, and it all led back to here. All led back to here. Um, I can't go back and show you right now because it's gonna take a lot of work for me to go back and figure that out. Did I already have this over here? Oh yeah, I did. I'm tripping. I am tripping. And of course, you can see that that's the golden pocket 786. I just wanted to have one less line on my chart. One less line on my chart. But we're still outside of band one. I meant two. We're still outside of band two on Bollinger. We're still outside that baby. So don't even play with it. And you see how far we are right in here. But these are areas that I am watching on a pullback. Now, if this thing is as strong as it's supposed to be right now, I would be looking for a pullback again. 60 is about what you would look for on an RSI retracement in relative strength. It's going to be 60. And I might do the mean reversion, which is not something that I'm interested in for Bitcoin's pullback, but I do have some highlighted sections in here, and we just went way too far if we coming all the way down here to 40 like that. That is not the scene. That is not the scene. If this thing is bullish and we just got this breakup, then we want to do this. We want to come back and like I said, really wherever this one right here is sitting at, that's about all you really want to be doing. So if you're using EMAs, you're going to be looking at around your 12. Maybe turn it into a 15 if you need to, but 12 and 26 is all you want to see, because when you start doing more than 12 and 26, the chances are you could see a change in behavior, which can flip the prices back down. So if it's this, um, again, in a strong environment, it should be like this. In a weak environment, it should be like this. Like, it shouldn't be doing anything more than this in a weak environment. So if, and again, like I said, they're 12 and you're 26. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna put my stuff back like I had it. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna go with the EMAs. Oh, go with the EMAs. And you can see I'm doing a 12 and a 26 on my EMA style. It shouldn't be no more than that. It should stay right through there, 12 and 26. Like, it should not be doing more than that, 12 and 26, until it's getting ready to turn around. Now, when it starts doing more than 12 and 26, some things start to squeeze together. Then you got something different, 12 and 26. That's all you should be doing. That's all you should be doing. Around about a 12 and 26, repeatedly. 12 and 26. That's it. That's it. No more than that. You want to hold a good. If you're strong or you weak, that's all you should be doing. 12. 12 typically. You real strong, you going to do 12. 12 is going to be your open alone. Open alone. Stop loss down below your 26. And same thing goes with a short pullback. Short. Until it flips. And why I say that, again, 12 and 26, if you like MACD, but you gotta like MACD, right? If you like MACD, 12 and 26 is where your MACD crosses the zero line. So you can tell how far away you are from your zero line by looking at your spread between your 12 and your 26. So if you like that, that's why I choose those two over anything. It just shows me my spread for my MACD. Turn delta off. So when you're crossing, when they start converging together, like, you can see how far away it is right here, even though, we can see this little noise that's in here. When they start converging together, that's when you get a cross. Your 12 and 26 cross, your MACD crossing your zero line. That's why If in a strong environment, you're going to stay above those because your MACD is above the zero line. In a weak environment, you're going to stay down below that those two because your MACD is in a weak environment, and then you get your cross again right here, and that's because your 12 and your 26 cross each other, and you can tell how choppy you are because you stay around the zero line right here, right? I don't like when we stay around the zero line. That's when I start to look at other factors. But as long as it's away from it, as long as it's far away from it like this, then you know I'm only going to do about that much, and that's going to be it. It's going to keep coming down. So your MACD, you can see where you got your cross at here on your MACD, which again is a 12 and 26 because MACD uses what? 12, 26, and 9. But the most important part is where MACD is in relation to the zero line. Below the zero line, bearish. Above the zero line, consider it bullish. Now, sometimes it may not go as high as you want it to go, but you can see that all up here on your chart. If you just work with a 12 and a 26, I know a lot of people use a lot of different stuff, but if you're using an indicator, man, you should be trading off of your indicators. That's how I see it. If you're using the indicator, then you should understand your indicator enough to understand like how it operates, like what makes it work, and put that up here. I mean, I like to do a lot of different stuff with my stuff too, but again, right here, you can see your 12 and 26 cross. That means your MACD is above your zero line. You're far away from that zero line, which means anytime you come back to these, you got a long. You got a long. Like this can teach you to hold your positions too. And then when you start to go sideways, like right here, I'm not just coming up anymore and I broke that. You start to go sideways, then you can do one of my numbers right here and just kind of see what you're doing. Like where I might be able to catch that bottom at. If I'm not going to keep rolling over, like where it might be at, minus everything that's over here. I'm just looking at this consolidation over here. You can try that. All right. Anyway, get off my soapbox. But put all of this back in here. You can use 52 as well, but I typically don't want to do. I mean, I have the 50. I have mines on my chart right now, so I do have the three on. I have these three on, but again, just basically in your EMA, 12 and 20, 12 and 26. Like you can do it though. The 52. I think all three are important, but your main two is going to be those two. So let me get rid of you. That's that 400 EMA right here. So again, we could consolidate a bit through here. Honestly, even if we push up here and I got to keep adding him to the stream. Even if we NPC went nuts. Is it meme season now, y'all? Okay, that's you. But yeah, the 400 EMA right here, and these are far away from that. You don't have a cross on those. Like these are still lagging behind. Right now, you only have one EMA that is crossed above this 200. That's it. So this can roll over. That's very, very, very common. I don't, I don't just look at price action crossing above an EMA, such as the 200 and the 400. That's not enough information. It honestly isn't enough information for a sustained move. Now you can credit it to saying, okay, my trend is up right now, but it's not enough for us to sustain move. Is it a sustainable move? Typically, when they're not above these, it's not. It's not because it should be in numerical order. So if this is my 12, this is my 26, my 52, they should be ahead of my 200 and my 400. That's when you have a trend. Like that's when you have a trend down because they're all down below it. So you know you're super bearish now. You know you're super bearish because they're all below it. You're not bullish right now. Like we look nice and this is beautiful. This is absolutely freaking beautiful. I'm not gonna lie about that. That's beautiful. But when they're not trading above it, um, it's not really the strongest move. Like they should be in that this order like this for those killer moves to the upside. It should be just like that. You see that tightening right here? Talk about a golden cross. That's what you look for in a golden cross. This is what you look for on a golden cross. That's what you look for. They should all be tight together. If you have and I'm just going over, just teaching a whole bunch of different stuff right now, just jumping all over the place. If you have tight bands like this, that's a golden cross. If you have wide bands and you get a cross between a fast and a slow, that's not a golden cross or a death cross. It's not. They should be pinned together like this. And that's how you call a golden cross. Usually, when they are spread apart, it's ending. Whatever the trend was is ending when they're spread apart. They have to converge together to call them a golden cross. If you're using something like an EMA or SMA, when you're using a slower meaning it's slower than a whole a whole moving average. It's slower than a whole. A wholes are great if you want to find a golden cross and a death cross. Wholes are great. I would not use EMAs for that unless they're like this, unless they're tight together like this. Otherwise, you don't have that. Now you can still continue a trend in either direction, but like I said, typically it's ending when you see them spread apart, and then you get that cross. There, it's typically ending. It's not doing anything but ending. But that's a beautiful golden cross right there. So um, that ain't what we got over here. This is not a golden cross. But I digress. All right, let me get this off of here. This Bollinger Band squeeze breakout that we got, you can see we're still, well, yeah, we're still trading more so around standard deviation two. Starting to get a little curvature in here. So volatility is starting to cool off. We can see that through volume as well, as volume started to decline in here after these progressive candles, these really large candles in here. And now we got small, choppy, sideways price action right now. But nonetheless, still far away from your standard deviation two. I mean, one, usually you want to see price action at least break below standard deviation one or something like that. Again, I will be watching for this and this right here. These two particularly, anything below that, I'm not really interested in anything below that. But that just tells you, like, people talking about, are we going to hold? We need to hold the 200? No, you don't. You don't need to hold that because it doesn't matter. You can see the spread right here. You're not going to hold that crap. If you're talking about coming back and doing a mean reversion, obviously you're going to come below what? You're going to come below this one because it is above your mean. It's above the mean. The mean is all the way back here. So if you're talking about getting a mean reversion on your daily time frame, obviously, yeah, you're gonna lose this 200. You're gonna look at the 400 all the way up here. Two should be above four. 1226.52 should be above 200 and 400. You ain't got that. You ain't got that. Sorry, you ain't got that. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna come below that. You look over here. I had to turn off some of my tables and stuff right here, but you see right here, this number is higher. It's higher than this one. When it's bullish, this number should be lower than this one. It should be lower than this one, but it's higher. Same thing right here. When you look at your weekly, this number is higher than this one. That's not the order. You see right here, this is lower. 15 is lower. The 1 hour number is lower. The 4 hour is lower. But when you get to your daily and your weekly, and you can't even see it for the monthly, but when you get to your higher time frames, they're higher, which means you come back down below. You lose your trending indicators. So you don't really have a trend. I'm just saying. It's beautiful though. I love it. It's beautiful. But it shouldn't be like that. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works. So let's take a look down here at the daily time frame down here. Yeah. So, I mean, beautiful again. MACD, MACD is out there. So not really, you're not looking for anything more than 60. That's what you should be looking for is a 60. I really don't want to see it come back to 50. Not if it's as strong as it say it is. But if you're gonna do a mean reversion, you're gonna lose that 200. Said and done. We would have to consolidate here for a long time in order to allow those moving averages to rise up and meet the standard for um, a sustained reversal. And I'm not saying that we didn't hit a bottom because there's a lot of stuff that say we did, but it don't mean we can't get that pullback. But right now, I mean, that is what that is right there. Um, Now, I will say, what's going on? Good morning, White Crypto YT. Good morning. Buy the dip. Exactly. I heard someone else say it best. I can't even think of the guy's name, but like he said, I don't know if the bottom is in, but I can tell you the top is not in. So we're gonna go higher. And markets trend up more than they do down. And that's for sure. Something happened over here with this music. I like this. I will say. And I went back, guys. I went back and looked at it. Now you already know. I shared this a long, long time ago. Long, like months ago on the VWAP from the low. That's the VWAP from the low. That's what we did. Also, we held the prior highs. Um, we also held the prior highs. We also held the prior highs. Enough said. And then, of course, the ascending trend line as well. We held that one, not the channel line because we didn't, but the VWAP. We did hold the VWAP down here and we did hold the prior highs in here. So just, looking at it every way I can look at it. And we were well ahead of this situation right here. Posted it on X and shared it with you guys a couple of times. But that is the all time VWAP low right there. We've only tapped it once right there, one other time right there, and then of course the tap right there on that VWAP from anchored from the very, very, very low, $15,473.78. There you have it. That's that VWAP right there. It was also a golden pocket tap right there, and it took a minute for it to even hit that golden pocket. So it was also that little golden pocket tap right there too. But I was combing through it yesterday, just kind of trying to see, like besides, because I know even myself last year sometime I was talking about the fib retracements and where it usually pulls back with the fibs. I realized there's something more important than just where it typically pulls back with the fibs. I had already been looking at it, but I never just put the two and two together. It's also where it is in relationship to the RSI. So the RSI is typically going to drop somewhere around 25 to 30, and that's the low. So if you came into your fib retracement and your RSI wasn't around 25 to 30, then it obviously would go lower. So if you hit the golden pocket and you weren't around 25 to 30, then you would go a little deeper on that pullback. So it wasn't just about the fib retracement itself. It was about where it was in relationship to the RSI. So the RSI was really the big thing. And I've covered that again, I've covered that many times. You're in here too many times, buddy. I've covered that many times and just never until yesterday decided to just really look at it and see like what the what that was. Just gonna hide this right here. This is the best way to get your death cross and your golden cross on your weekly time frame. Use your 12 and 26 EMA on your weekly time frame because the like I've said, the MACD only crosses. It very seldomly crosses. Very seldomly crosses on the weekly time frame. So if you want to know where your death cross comes in at, and I'm just going to take this one away. Actually, I'm not going to use this one because I'm talking EMAs, and I know that that's what most people like to use. Your death cross is gonna you can capture your death cross a lot better if you do that. I'm gonna show you right here because I did my MACD and I just labeled it MACD. Remember I said that the MACD is crossed about 6 times. Well, I went back to look at it again last night. So I'm just gonna look at your golden crosses in here. So you see your 12 and 26 cross right there. That's the golden cross right there. It doesn't cross back down. It doesn't cross back down until what? Until here. And there's your death cross right there. So if you want to get it better, you do it like this. That's your death cross right there. Now, can a death cross and a golden cross fail? Yeah, it can. But that's one. And you got this huge rally right here. Look at how close them things are right now. They haven't crossed yet. Just like we could have been looking at this and been like, yep, we done. Yep, we done. No, it didn't happen. I'm gonna need for it to solidify it. It hasn't done it yet, but it's pretty damn close, right? This this was one of the crosses that I was counting, and I realized I don't count that. I'm not going to count that because we were coming from this uptrend right here. So there were a moment in time where we started to chop the MACD right here. There was a moment in time when we started to chop it, and it was like we chopped it right here. So this was one of the counts right here that I did, and this was one of the counts right here that I did. But if I take these two counts out, and let me just put a box around this. I'm gonna put the box right here. I don't have a lot to draw around this. Uh, Not a lot to focus on with that. That's why I like to see it on my chart too, because you never know. So you would have started out right here, and then it for some reason it failed, and of course we put in the bearish divergence. You can see it right here just from the EMA. The bearish divs right through here. Put in the bearish D, especially on the MACD. You can see we put in the bearish divergence. And then there goes your death cross right here. Into what? Into our bear market down through here until we start our bull market right there. So this is your death cross right there. And then we start to curve out and head back up towards that zero line until we finally get above it right there. All right, so that was one right there. And then this was the other golden cross right here. And we start this beautiful trend right here with the little chop. You see the little chop right here, that little chop that came in right there. And that was that one. This was your death crosses right here. It's your death cross right there. Until we start our bull run right there. This was the golden cross right here 12 and 26. Powerhouse, baby. That's a damn powerhouse. Let me tell you, that's a powerhouse. And you got that nice big rally. So far, we've seen the four crosses that the MACD is made, or the 12 and 26 EM made. That we've seen four times already, with the exception of the little um chop right here. And here's another time where it did that little chop right here. So if I were counting all the times, I would have told you six times, which is what I was initially saying. Like we've seen it cross up the MACD is crossed up the zero line six times historically on the weekly time frame. So that would have been this little chart right here. I'm just gonna let that. I'm gonna give it a pass. I decided I decided to give it a pass. But over here, oh, let me get rid of this. Over here, you see your golden cross right there. 12 and 26, MACD above zero line. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. There she go. There she go. And we pretty, I don't know why I still got this in here, but I'm just going to hide it. I probably was mapping out something else. And this is your death cross right here. Because I'm not going to, I can. I'm just trying to be mindful of that chop stuff right there. So that's your death right there. And that's your bull. That's your death. And let me turn these back on. Oh, I got to turn it on right here. Take that away. But that's a death cross right there to get your continued move to the downside. And then that's your bull rally right there. Your death clap right there. And then your bull run over here. And we're getting kind of close right here. Kind of close. I mean, we're still far off. 2000. That's a long way to go. That's a long way to go. Just keeping it real. Like we got the bull deals down here, but that's still a long way to go. I think price action probably has to be sitting somewhere up here around maybe 90. Maybe 90 to chug this all the way up to get that cross. It might have to do that. But you don't cross. You see how many times you cross? You don't cross like that. So when we get that cross and we get that pullback, buy. Buy. If you was waiting and you got left behind on this pump up, when we get that cross on that MACD and we get that first pullback, buy. Unless you just buying spot. You leverage trading, you get that first pullback, buy. Is this financial advice? I don't want to be sued, so no. If I wasn't going to get sued, I would say, God dang right, this is financial advice. This is financial advice. But no, it's not financial advice. Not financial advice. It's late. It's late unless you was looking at that part. Like you can try that. Like you can definitely take shorts based on that. You can change it to make it faster. Um, I do that sometimes. I don't change the actual settings. I change my source. So you can modify your source to get faster signals on the MACD, but you're gonna get a lot of chop. I'm just gonna add these in here. But you can definitely change your source. I'm not sure how this one is going to work, but you can change your source. I have it where I can change my source on mine. I usually change it to a RSI source if I'm going to use one. Oh, I forgot I changed my RSI. Hold on. I changed my I'm using a different metric on my RSI, so it's not going to work the same. It's not tell it off at this one, but I changed. I got this thing in here. Let me put it back like this. And it just shows me where we're extended. And usually it becomes extended once you get below that red. It becomes extended. That's a good place to start buying, really. Or where you're overextended at, start taking some profit. Start taking some profit. and then finally it just didn't work out anymore right there. So I switched it over yesterday. I was messing around with it, like, I don't want it to look the same, so I'm just going to change some stuff, and then you far extend it right here until you come up. It's not a signal. It's not a take the long or take the short kind of thing, but it does just show me, like, okay, if I'm above here, I'm quite extended. I'm looking forward to. I'm always going to use this up here, but I'm going to start looking for it to cool off a little bit, maybe on the second one or something like that. But where am I overextended? Yeah, and so yeah, that's why it's not coming up correctly for this one, is because I changed that RS, and you can see that too right here. You can see that it's different. You can see right here it reads 150, 150. I took away the ceiling for the RSI with this indicator right here, because RSI tends to, it doesn't go any higher than 100. So I took the ceiling away and smoothed it out by doing that. But I just wanted you guys to see how close we were. Still pretty far off too, but how close we were getting on that MACD. Getting that cross up in here. But this suggests that it's easy to at least do something like this. I mean, RSI runs hot on the weekly time frame, but we could easily do that 70. We're just at a 60. Like, we rejected clean off of that 60, but we can easily do this 70, which is going to be just it's going to be the value area high and the 786. We can easily do that. You know that, right? We can easily do that. I think I got that in here. Um, in case I don't. In case I don't, let me just do this. I know I got it in here. It's probably spread out somewhere. We can easily do that. That's just a 70. That ain't nothing. These days, that ain't even relative strength. But that's easy to do right there. And then, like I said, that's a 786 field retracement. Oh no, not from here. Not from there. It's not. From here it is. 786 retracement right there. That's an easy number to get to. Right now we're trying to do this one, but you got plenty of room on your weekly time frame to do that. And I don't think that this changes. That MACD will probably cross up with a push into that value area high right there, just above 90,000. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. And we've covered the USDT dominance chart, and USDT dominance chart suggests that we have reversed. It suggests that this was the bottom. I've seen other channels comparing this over here. I haven't done that yet. I'm not going to do it because they've done it. I've been using the USDT dominance. It was one of the cleanest ways of figuring it out. And we did this. We did that a long time ago. So everybody who's doing this one now, kind of late, but we did this one right here a long time ago with the USDT dominance, saying how the similarity, and it's saying that we have bottomed. And that is it's so perfect though, right? It's way too perfect. Like, who would expect it, because it's way too perfect. It was a perfect VWAP tap, a perfect hold of the prior highs, a perfect trend line tap as well. Our ascending trend line, I have to go back and find stuff. Make sure I get it right. It was our perfect trend line tap. And I draw my trend lines. Y'all know I draw my trend lines to the T at the bottom using the magnet. Like, it was all so perfect. too damn perfect. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary how perfect that was, though. But yeah, it can easily do that. It can easily get right there. I don't know where I put. Oh, okay. I know why this data isn't over here. It's because I'm on the index chart, and I have to do the index chart to go back and look at as far left as I can for price action. I have to do this one. That's why, because I know I have all that information in here. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have it all right here on the Binance chart. All right, monthly. Monthly, no MACD cross below the zero. No MACD cross below zero. It did not cross below zero. And we looked at the one off, one on. This time it didn't cross. That time it did cross. Um, Actually, it crossed twice. Or is it just because of this chart? Let me make sure. What am I on? Finance? Oh, I had it right the first time. Okay, so maybe I was wrong on that. Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay, no, I wasn't. Yeah, we crossed. I was looking at the delta. Let me get rid of that delta. This time, no cross. That time, it crossed. That time, no cross. That time, it crossed. And over here, it didn't cross. So don't cross, cross. Don't cross, cross. Don't cross. Maybe. I know I'm drawing straws right now. We looked at that. Typically, I see a swing fail. We didn't swing fail on this one. We held it perfectly, but on this one, we barely swung on that one right there. And this is just what I call the historic floor. Um, this would have been this swing over here. So I would have looked for this one. It goes right there. See, I don't want this to happen because we did that one time before. So you see how it doesn't swing fail? It usually does a swing fail. It usually comes down below the prior momentum low. It usually comes down below it, and then it comes back above it, and then it closes above the 50, cross below prior. Comes up, closes above the 50 RSI, and you don't make a new low. This one was initially, right here. We chopped it, like we rejected immediately right there, and then we got to push up. I just changed it, guys. I changed it from doing like it did, like I do it over there. I changed it um, and put it down here below this one. But usually it does this swing thing. It drops below prior momentum, and then it comes back up, and then it closes above 50, and then you don't make a new low. That's what it typically does. And so this one right here, you can see this one right here, we just tapped it. Now um, yeah, we just tapped it. That's it. We just tapped it. We kissed it, and then we bounced away. We did not swing below here. And then it's August 27th. We only have until what, Monday, for this candle to for the RSI close above this 50. And like I said, it doesn't, like all these other times back here when we closed above the 50, not just push above it, but close above it. We didn't put in a new low. We did not put in a new low. But I don't understand why we just kissed it this time and didn't swing below it. But things change. They changed. They obviously change. Um, I can't say the same for these highs because we don't come back into prior highs. So far, we haven't done that. Like we putting in lower lows on the RSI. So I can't say the same for the top side, but I can tell you with this bottom side right here, though. It's usually a swing down and then that pop up right there. And like I said, you close above 50, like it closed above 50 right in here. You don't put in a new low. Um, Same thing right here. It's usually that swing down, that cross back up. Um, and then it closes above 50 and you don't put in a new low. Like you get a pullback, but you don't put in a new low. The low is down here. You just don't put in a new low. And you see it again right here. We got that swing down below prior momentum lows, and then we come up and close above 50. You don't come back. You don't come back. But it is a roundabout where like the RSI tends to cap out at, but you don't come back. So I mean, we're about to do that here. Appreciate you, Why Crypto YT. Is that our situation? You know. But a beautiful kiss. I think that initially when we did get this drop down right here, like we did cross below it, but we didn't close below it. And that was really something that I was wanting to see, a close below it and come back up. We didn't do it, but we definitely met prior momentum lows. And you always meet the prior momentum lows. You just don't meet the prior momentum highs, which is weird. It doesn't do that. So I don't know what to make of that. But we about to find out. We get this close above here. We definitely about to find out what we doing. It looks good. It looks like the low is in. I'm just going off of the data. It looks like the low is in. None of us know, but it looks like the low is in. The only other thing I could tell you is that we looked at where we thought the low was going to come in way in advance because we were talking about the QTD. I highlighted to you that every pullback, that's our low. What is in there? What's in here? Got something vertical in there. But I had my box in here. Like that's it. And see, we did that little slight deviation right here, which is only really deviated. You see that little small deviation right there? Because when I initially had the box drawn out, it showed that we didn't come below here. So which meant that we should have respected here. But we slipped it just a little bit, just like right here. It would have been right here. But you can see we slipped it a little bit right there. But it's usually that's it. So you don't see, see like over here, you stay within this cloud. You don't see a deviation. I would have had this one drawn all the way down to here, which meant we would have took out that low. That didn't happen. But every pullback, it usually ends right here, and you can see we slipped it a little bit right here, right here. We slipped it a little bit right there. But that was supposed to be our bear market low, and that's how I had been calling the bear market lows. But instead, we came basically the same. Pretty much same, right? I think this one was the only time where we didn't hit the body. I'm gonna draw it off of this wick though. This was the only time where we came back to the prior highs and we didn't actually hit the bodies. So I'm able to understand how people thought that maybe we come in a little bit lower. I remember I remember my tweets back here at in this case, and I was actually looking for that just based on the it was the head and shoulders. The head and shoulders measured move was what I based my analysis on to see that we could at least come down into here. But and it was this head and shoulders right here that if you measure it out, puts you exactly right there. Um, a little harder to see here. I'm gonna put it on the two, do it like that. Nah, that ain't what I did. I must got the wrong neckline. Hold on. Let me switch this up. Tell no lie on myself. Oh no, that's still wrong. I know damn well I didn't do that. Mm-mm. Wasn't it that? Or was it here? I don't know. I could have sworn. I don't know. I know that shit ain't right. That is not right. And forgive me. My potty mouth. That ain't it. That is not it. It was something. But I know it wasn't that. I had to go back and find my bookmark. It ain't that. It is not that. I hate when I start saying I did something, then I go back and I look at it. It's like, honey, that what you did. You all wrong. No, no. Anyway, let's look back over here at our Bitcoin. Okay, we had the mean reversion. We're still trying to hold this little mean reversion. I have to really put this on though, because if I don't, then it won't match. I mean, it matches, but I know that this is going to fluctuate a little bit, and I like to really just see a line or something. I have to see a line. Oh, we ain't looking good, is we? We all right. We all right. That this is nothing, I suppose. This is nothing, I suppose. But that was a failed breakout on that 1 hour time frame. Should I have taken that short? I might end up regretting not taking that short, but it hasn't hit what I'm looking for yet. I'm not gonna take anything until it hit what I'm looking for. Like I did the shorts over here, and then I missed this one, um, and I haven't taken one since then. But I am long again. Should have just kept my long open to start with. And we need to bounce right here. If anything, and I don't really like it. Let's just go from where it is right now. I don't really like it because I don't want this to come back against anybody. Um, I especially don't want it to come back. I really just don't want to see it come below here. To keep it real with you. And then if we're gonna make that golden pocket or even make that high, it's a good risk to reward though. It's decent. Like you don't have to do it now. Like you can wait. Just wait. But somewhere through here would seem ideal. Draw a fib on this. I'm gonna pull it off of that. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna get a psychological bounce, you're around it right here. Um, which ain't terrible. It's not terrible. It's a 0.49. and just let that sit there. I just don't want it to be something that's happening because the market hasn't opened just yet. Speaking of which, let me change the screener over here because I gotta get with you on Nvidia and some of the other players because I shared my long for Intel. I did not share the analysis on AMD. I actually didn't do take an analysis entry, so I didn't have anything to share. But I did tell you on Tuesday that I was into AMD, and I actually got into AMD on that Monday. Um, Maybe I told you on Monday or something like that, though. Uh, but this probably is not correct. I don't think that they actually update this um, on the daily. You have to be 24 hours or below to see it, and that reads daily. And there's no option for me to do 24. There just isn't. So let's just take a look at the Nvidia chart over here. I told you, I'm just gonna stick with what I've seen, and I covered this on Tuesday. I did not see anything that was different for the analysis in here. I know Nvidia hit it out the ballpark. I know they did. Nvidia always delivers. They had one little minor hiccup, but Nvidia always delivers. And when Jensen started talking yesterday, that's when you start to see the pop up. Because initially, when the numbers came out, you got this drop right here. You got this drop down right here. And when Jensen started talking, you started to see it get this push up right here. We were capping around 220. It's like more like 219. Like 219, we were capping around 219. And then we started to push up a little bit more in here. We don't really have the volume in here, which is why it's not really being able to get past these progressively high RSI reads in here. But yeah, when he started talking yesterday, it flipped around. I still see these down here, like here, here, and then like I told you, I would be wanting to see something on this trend line. I'm not saying that that's going to happen because there is a catalyst in here, like I shared, where Nvidia monthly time frame. Looking at that monthly time frame, it doesn't come below that point. I think it was the monthly, or was it the weekly? It doesn't come below that point. But as far as the high goes, I really don't see it doing anything more than this. I love Nvidia. I've held Nvidia for a couple of years now. I just don't see um I just don't see it getting past here. But we'll find out when markets open today if we're finally going to break this trend line up here. This is just my channel. Yeah, if we're going to break this right here. So we've had two rejections, or we have one rejection. Just put we have one rejection off of it. One, because it takes two to connect it, right? So we've only had one rejection off of it. Maybe this time we come up and we don't reject off of it, but I really just don't see it doing anything past it. I would love for it to do something more than that because Nvidia is the biggest part of my portfolio, and my portfolio has been stabilized. It's very stable. It's been stable now for about a year. And I haven't bought anymore, and I'm not buying anymore. Like I can't. In fact, I sold some. Um, but I can't do that. I can't, like, it's not growing anymore because it's really heavily dependent on Nvidia at this point. It was Palantir, but I sold all of my Palantir. I recently bought some here before earnings because it looked good. But it's not like what I had before. It's nothing like that. And then mind you, I bought Palantir at like $13 and I sold it, all of it. So me buying in at prices that Palantir is at now, yeah, I can't get that much. I'm heavily relying on this and the future husband. And the future husband. That's what I'm relying on right now, which is sad. Sorry to say that. Sad. Sorry to say that. But anyway, I didn't get those vibes from it. I'm sorry, I just didn't get the vibes from it. About a 60 right now. Really want to see it push above a 60 to be in relative strength, right? Relative strength is above that 60. This right here looks pretty decent in here, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Like you can tell that it's trading pretty well on this 24. It's pretty well rounded in here, but again, my what I was looking at, and I was actually hoping that it popped back down here into this trend line I wanted to see this trend line right here get tested one more time, which would have been a 30. That would have been beautiful. I would have taken that. I actually considered taking a trade last night on BTCC on this right here, but and and um I don't know. The rows were just pointing down for me though. Everything was pointing down, like Nvidia comes down. And maybe what he said was enough to cause something different. Because we were putting in, oh, I adjusted this. I was telling you that I made some changes to my stuff in here. Um, yeah, my ceiling may not work the same now because I made these changes on my RSI. Damn, I forgot. I forgot I had to adjust all of the stuff I had in here. Uh, yeah, it's not gonna work the same now because this was a clear defined ceiling right here. Um, it was a clearly defined ceiling. What am I doing? Let me just Bitcoin. Let me just do a regular RSI. I just don't want to get into what I got going on. Let me take off that. But you see right here, there's a clear ceiling in price action right there. Let me get rid of. Let me get rid of all of this. And the RSI background fill. Let's darken this up. Let's make it a little thicker. Is purple a good color? Yeah, purple seems to work just fine. But yeah, this is a clearly defined ceiling right here. And then you got a little slight bear dip right there. And then I think I had the low coming off of, yeah, the low was coming off of this one right here. And then you can see, actually I could just put it right here so you can see like this was a clear floor. So I was hoping that it did come back a little bit more. It probably did tap this and then it bounced off of it right here. But this is a clearly defined floor. I'm gonna have to get rid of these right now because that's not gonna work because I changed things. But just so you can see what I'm looking at right here. So just trying to find like where your bottoms come in at, where your tops come in at. Um, that's been clearly defined right here for Nvidia. Now if it gets up here, whoop de doo. I'll probably look at this. Like it capped out right here a few times. That's 77, 80 maybe. This will probably end up moving some sort a little bit in here. I just didn't see it moving past this top side. But maybe somebody will see something different than me. I just don't see it moving past that. And that is about an 80. It's about an 80. It would be right in here. Maybe, it gets right in here and then it rejects a little bit. So it gets in here, maybe sweeps this liquidity, rejects, and then tries again. Now that's possible, but it just doesn't look, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not convinced. And I want to be convinced. I'm just not convinced on that. I'm gonna push over here. All right, so the Intel, and damn, I was so excited to talk about Intel because I shared the fact that I was in the Intel loan. And now I've heard that Nancy Pelosi bought. I didn't buy because no Nancy Pelosi. I was looking at Intel before I even heard anything about Nancy Pelosi. I was looking at technical analysis, and I did share that I could have still been early on this trade, and I might still be because I don't know. I can still be early on this because when I went through, I don't know if I put it over here on a 24 and I was talking about it here. Um, that's what I was looking at. So I'm like, maybe, maybe there's a chance I still could have been early. If this wasn't an ABC, if this wasn't an ABC and it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, because I hate a rejection at a 38250. I hate it. I hate it. I didn't even look over here at the 24-hour time frame. I was just trading the 4 hour time frame, and I just so happened to be like, dang, why are we struggling so much right now? Like we're here. Like I know a stock market, it takes some time for it to build up, but it was like, why are we struggling? And then I was like, well, let me check a higher time frame. And I come over and I check the 24-hour time frame. It's like, dang, maybe this is a five-way move to the downside, and I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm not wrong. This golden pocket 786 tap right here, I'm hoping we get the bounce up, and then I can look for this to push up right here. I'm hoping that that's the case. But if I'm wrong, then this is probably just a 5, because I sincerely do not like a 38250 rejection. That means that people are like in a bearish case, people are selling at a loss. And what they probably did was they looked at the fact that Intel broke this right here. They probably looked at the fact that Intel broke this right here. And so when it broke this and it came back up, not that first one, but this one, when it came back up, it's like short, because anybody who missed that one was like, okay, we went even lower, come back up, short. So I hope I'm not wrong, but I understand I can be, and I got my stop loss in place if I'm wrong. It's not a huge move. It's not a huge move. Right here. But if markets open and people feel the FOMO for Nvidia based on everything from yesterday, then it will, right? Intel will see a pop. I would expect for Intel to see a pop, AMD to see a pop, MU which is performing pretty decent right now. I would expect for MU to see a pop. I would check on my mama. And by my mama, I'm referring to Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and Alphabet. Yeah, so check on your mama if if markets open and people are feeling strong on Intel. I mean not Intel, but on Nvidia. But I just didn't see it for Nvidia, and it's all right to be wrong. I just didn't see it for it. But Intel is struggling in here, and I'm scared that it's gonna drop down. My stop is here. I'm scared that it's gonna drop down and it's gonna take out this low right here. And then the next fear for that is that if it takes this low right here out anywhere down below, and I switched this off right here. Um, I got two versions of this RSI thing right here. Um, I know that on the monthly, it could fall into a territory we're not gonna like. So if that, I don't know if this shows up over here or not. This group stuff, yeah, it does. So you can see how that's the golden pocket 382 right here. I'm sorry, golden pocket 786 right here. Clean off that 786. I initially took it off of the golden pocket right here. I closed out immediately on Friday before market closed. I closed out right there because I could see the bear. There was the bearishness that was through here. All of my stuff has been deleted through here. But you see right here, you see this high and this high right here are not the same. I was like, okay, a little bearish, and it's the weekend now, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. And then I re-entered off of a momentum break through here, which is why I was concerned about the fact that is that on there right? I need to. I think it was initially like that. Yep, I think it was initially like this. I front ran it, or it's just the settings that I have in here now, and back test, and then continue up right here. Yeah, back test, and then it popped back up. It's gonna have another bear div. It's gonna have another bear div if it doesn't get back up there. But this right here, on a 5-way move down, this is exactly what I'll be looking at right here. And then you can see how that is going to affect you real bad, because on a monthly time frame, not that. Let me just change it for a second. So right here, it starts to get really scary. Um, because I mean, it does and it doesn't. This is still 60 something right here, but you cross your mean right now on the RSI at 55.48. So you do a mean reversion at 55.48. I don't know if we'll break below this golden pocket and maybe come somewhere down in here. I just really won't like that, because I really won't like that. I won't like it. I mean, already you can see the weekly 89.49. We're below um we're below the mean on the weekly time frame. Let me turn that group off. You can see right here. We're below it right here. That's a 40. Around about where that I think that's where that golden pocket is sitting at, right? Yeah, golden pocket sits right there at that 40. Like you be crossing. I mean, already below 50 means you're neutral territory, but below 40 is bearish or relative weakness. Relative weakness. So I don't want to see any of that. I really need for this to pop. More spread the news. Nancy Pelosi bought and everybody else buy. Spread the news. Nancy Pelosi bought. That means everybody else buy. I hope it make it pump. I don't know if it will. They got that kind of money. Oh, Bitcoin. It's that golden pocket tap. Let's see if that psychological level will hold for Bitcoin. Oof. I want to see that hold. I want to see that hold. I don't like anything outside of that. But that was like that golden pocket. I drew it over here last time. I'm gonna put it on this one this time. Are we gonna make it? We can't do no more than that. We got a problem. I mean, maybe somebody will look down here. Maybe it just wicks here. It can just wick in here and still be okay. Um, it can still wick in here, but we start stalling out right here. It's a done deal. It's like we didn't manage to hold perfectly through here. Volume is trash. Volume is just trash. Look at that volume. That volume up there. This is not good volume. That's the only decent volume we had right there before volume started declining. But yeah, that's what I'm watching for here on the Intel play. It doesn't look that great to me. Um, and I would have never looked at it if this didn't start acting weak. Once I saw this weakness start happening, it was like, but that's a good place to buy, like down through here. And it had a little bull div in here too, the little bullish div right here, but it ain't looking too good. it is not looking too good. I don't like seeing this weakness on it. And then AMD, I am in the AMD play, which this one is doing okay. Right here, I'm up on that one. Let's see if it'll let me read that one. Oh, I gotta restore this. I like the little wick right now. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, go, Bitcoin, go. This chart is not gonna move right now. It reads I'm only up like 2%, but the this chart doesn't move when markets close, so I can't really tell. Oh, it does. It's moving. It's moving. Yeah, up a little 2%. Up a little 2% in here on up a little 2% in here on AMD. Let's see how it holds up. Um, see a major weakness through here. Uh, MACD still positive, but the closer this right here gets to that crossover, the it's not doing too good right now. But market's open, and if some hope come in on Nvidia, then it will push up. It tends to perform the best around Nvidia earnings. It performs better than Nvidia. So just consider Nvidia's earnings AMD's. AMD's pump. It's a big competitor. So that's that one. MU is another one that's looking pretty decent in here. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Really want to see it take out that high, close above it, right here. I don't know why I didn't consider this long entry on this. It was also. Let me make sure I'm on that first screen, because if I'm not, then that's why my data isn't showing up. Yeah, I'm on the first screen. Um, Maybe it wasn't this one. Not sure. May not have been this one. No, it wasn't this one because that's not perfect at all. Um, but I mean, nonetheless, MU is coming up. It's looking decent. It's looking decent. Had a little bit of bullish divergence in here on MU, not locally, but I mean, obviously, I think we talked about that the energy wasn't going to match. Um, but that was a little small loan. Um, I don't know if this one is pushing up off of Nvidia or not though. A couple of other ones, like I said, watch your mama. Check in on your mama, see how she doing. Apple, not doing too great. Um, struggling, struggling. Google struggling. I mean, everything is just freaking struggling. Google struggling. Um, Microsoft made a turnaround. That's good. Yeah, Microsoft made a turnaround, so that's not shabby. Mm. And Amazon is not doing good either. It's back at the value area low though, or at least coming back down here towards it right here. But not really doing. I'm gonna get rid of this line. That line has just been. It's just the 382 50% retracement. Really want to see it hold in here. If I mean, actually, it doesn't even matter if it holds in here or not. I don't see anything through here. I don't see a count that would make a difference if it holds in here or not. But I mean, it would be nice if it did. Let me take that background out. But, you got one like it keeps tapping. Like if something keeps tapping the same area, it's a good chance that they can break it. Unless you want to consider this to be accumulation zone. Um, Still got all of that Amazon that Bezos is selling. Maybe he waiting on people to buy it up and then he'll sell again at top. At least that's kind of smart, right? AVGO hit the bottom side of the channel that we were talking about. I would look at that channel. I would look at that 340 and then ultimately 309. The only thing that's going on right now with Broadcom is investors are looking at Broadcom like, okay, it has two main buyers, two main suppliers, and they don't like that. I mean, they're starting to pick up more suppliers. They're not like Nvidia though. Nvidia's customer base is huge. Like their big players are basically going to be it's going to be I know is it Google? I believe that it is Google. Google and Microsoft more than likely is those two. Um, but they have some other ones. It's just a lot of focus around those main two though. Like it's working because of those two. And if it loses, like it got about six big players though. If it loses one of them, then it starts to lose revenue. So yeah, I mean, but we did hit this channel in here for Broadcom. That's your channel low right here. So let's see. That's just the third tap onto it. So one, two, and then that's your third one. But I am looking there, and then I will also be looking right in here. Hopefully, no change in market structure, but it's something that I'm watching for Broadcom. Um, and then last but not least, oh, Meta, because you're checking on your mama, right? So Meta um, did see like a sporadic move through here. Um, Meta has clear overhead resistance right here. We were looking at VWAP through here, I believe. Let's see if I can't just get a one VWAP. Let me get rid of these right here. So I was looking at this VWAP right here, posing as resistance. I initially posted on this VWAP back over here. And so you can see it's come back around and it's back testing that VWAP again and rejecting off of it. So some pretty decent resistance right there. Uh, do I have majors in here? I have some pivots in here. Apparently I haven't drawn them out in a long time. So you can see that pivot right here. 596. We just say 596 right through here. So I may need to go in and check on pivots again on this one. I shouldn't have to do too much. But yeah, major resistance around that VWAP right there for Meta. And um, and then there was SanDisk, which a nice hold off of that VWAP right there. Basically, what we're looking at this low off of that short to, you know, we're ahead, we're above it. Don't want to take any chances. But yeah, right here at this order block or prior highs. I'm sorry, prior highs right here. These prior highs right here. Fair value gap bounce. The VWAP off of that low down here. That also. See if you get a rejection back here around this point of control. If you do reject there, then I would expect to come all the way down here. Unfortunately, I'm really looking for something back here on this trend line. Can't say that I get it. That was a while back. But again, if market's open and it likes Nvidia, then maybe this right here will pop as well. Um, it's below. No, actually, it's above. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. Um, yeah, I would look to see if I would get a rejection right here, first of all, though, just to be sure, because it could fall lower. I think it was showing like right through here. I think it was showing the lows down below here. Yeah. So it was showing, um, no expansion. VWAP is kind of sideways and flat right through here. So if you get through here, like I said, you got some resistance through here. You got some resistance all the way up to, see where that VWAP is at, 1648. Which just say 1648. I like to give it a little extra, 1650. Should say 1650. You're gonna have some resistance, but you get through that, then just look for it to come back up here. I would be looking for that. Now that actually is an order block up there. I would be looking for something like that right up there around 1952 to 1851, something like that. I didn't see anything in here that would have enticed me to want to buy. It's a nice clean hold in here. I just didn't see anything that would entice me to want to buy. MACD is coming up. MACD is looking to cross above this zero line. So hopefully that will get going. If that gets going, then maybe you can get something like over here. Um, Back right here. And I think that those were the only ones really that needed to be watched. These all did earnings. CrowdStrike was looking pretty good. You get a pullback on this one, I would go for it. CrowdStrike, I would go for it. Um, but what is it hitting overhead? Anything? These are pretty close together, which tells me that there's some tight right here. But let's see what this one is at. Okay, so that one's far below it right there. So is that one. So you might got a chance in here. You can pull back. This could be good. You can already see that you have a MACD cross above zero. The last time you got a MACD cross above zero was here. You didn't get a pullback on this one, but this looks like you could probably get a pullback. So I would look for a pullback on that. And then, if it stays strong, you can continue to get this push up. But a pullback would be nice. Yeah, we have to get a pullback for me. It does pretty decent, especially if they're a little bit closer in here. I like this. especially like that. Like that was so freaking perfect. I didn't look at it until this morning, but I would have did that because that was really undervalued, really, really, really undervalued right here. And like I said, you got a strong MACD right here, the blue. Um, Delta's a little chill right now, so if you get the pullback, yeah, that could be a buyer. I really would want to see it hold this cluster right here for the continuation up, but that could be a buyer. Want to make sure we don't get any bear divs either. But yeah, a pullback would be really nice uh, in here on this one. Fortnite, I checked this one out too. That one looks pretty decent too, but I would have to have a pullback on that one as well. Um, and then I looked at Palo. I haven't looked at Marvell. I know that Marvell reported earnings, right? Um, mm, I probably wouldn't on Palo Alto, but um, it may do like a golden pocket 786 and then a rejection, and then if you can get a pullback on that one, then maybe consider it. I really don't. Uh, so Marvell is at resistance. Oh, I deleted. I guess I need that because I need to look back at that for some reason. But that's finished. Why didn't I look at this before? I don't know. Looked like I would have been counting something through here, 5-way move or something like that. I might have said something about it. I wonder if I did. No, I didn't make it. It's good enough for that. 50% retracement. I don't like that. Yeah, it's at resistance though. Marvell. I wouldn't buy this one. Not that it can't continue up because it can. I would just wouldn't buy it at these highs. If it gets a pullback and it can manage to hold, you can see it's starting to get a little weaker in here. Like it's starting to drop through here. But if it gets a pullback, maybe does something like this again, trend line this thing. Yeah, so if it comes back, I'm gonna take into account this little wick right here now. Get a pullback right here, like you can test the waters right here, and then be prepared to cut it if it's gonna start spilling over and getting into those weak territories. But if you can get the pullback on this one, like it did right here, so it's pulling back a little bit too much right now, though on 4-hour time frame. I would have to say. But if you get it, then that could work again right there on that trend line. All right, it's time for me to Jito. I didn't even look at Solana just up and up and up again, just up and up. Um, Nothing to do here but long, I suppose. It's toppy as heck, but it wants to keep going. It wants to keep. I'm trying to see what these are. It wants to keep going. I don't. It had like this little range in here after it got this upside down side inside bar, and it was rejecting from here, rejected there, and then it had started rejecting right here again. So if it falls back inside of here, I would count that as my value area high. It may actually be considered your value area high if you just change the settings on it. So right here, it may be your participation level on your bell curve up here. Yeah, up here. So it drops that, then maybe, but you ain't gonna get too far on this one right here. It's doing nothing more than that. It's doing somewhere roughly around a 62 a mean reversion, and then that's it. So watch that trend line right there. It actually tapped this trend line if I move out to another time frame because we were looking at this trend line right here. No, we was looking at it on something else, I believe. But I know I had it in here for Solana. I don't mess with Solana no more. But yeah, you come back in here if you're feeling that strong about it because meme coins are pushing, then maybe somewhere back in here, back around the mean reversion right here, about 97, that could be your entry right there. Um, I just don't want to play those kind of levels, but that can be your entry. I prefer something lower than that if it gives it, but ugh. Ugh. Let me just hit cancel and delete on that. Um, I looked at the consolidation range right here. You can see where it's tapping it right here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna try to tell anybody to short this one. I tell you that you maybe get some resistance right here for it, and then I would look for a pullback on it. So, like I said, maybe about 97, which is going to be roughly that trend line, and that mean reversion here on the 4-hour time frame. And then as far as your levels go, yeah, so resistance right here at the top side right here, you get above this right here, then I would start to look at the next level up here. It's 108, 112 for resistance, and these are just daily zones right here. So I would look right there for a rejection outside of your daily stuff. Here, see what my warpath is at. Yep, 108. It's definitely somewhere I'll be looking at. And I probably, okay, so yeah, you're already in like a major weekly area of resistance, which is exactly where the chop actually starts taking place at once it got inside of this major area of resistance right here. So let's see if that'll slow it down some. Probably not, because it has nothing to do with Solana if you ask me. But nobody asked me. Um, we're looking at Zcash. Zcash did bounce off of this trend line that we had in here. We're looking at this trend line right here, but I really want to get Zcash at 700, but it did bounce off of this trend line. Later, it came back and broke below it, but it still held that low right there, back within this consolidation range right here. Still hoping that I can get something right here. I'm not in a position on ZEC, and I'm not interested in ZEC until I can get it down here. Personally, I'm just not. As far as your ranges go, right here, a little bit of rejection there off of the VWAP right there. Maybe it pushes back up here and takes out that high, does something like that, and then it rolls over. But yeah, it's a little bit too up here for me. And I understood that with this just kind of being flat through here in this consolidation range, that it may not come below here. But if I could, for goodness sake, get this wick filled and hit that 700, I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer, but I can't buy right here. But if anybody did take that, I hope it works. It is not mine. It is not for me. It is not for me whatsoever. I did get into, Hyperliquid just ain't coming down. It just ain't doing it. It's not. It's not. Now, yeah, it just hasn't been doing more than this. It hasn't. But once this thing crosses, once that MACD starts to fail, and momentum is, it's just been holding. Look at that. It just keeps holding. And then this looks strong. This right here, I like when I see stuff like that. Sometimes it can be weakness. Sometimes it can, but you see this. You see this. Like, let it go. It's like holding on to some hair on the top of your head, and you just need to let it go. And it's hard. Just let it go. We're at resistance. Like this has been our rejection point, and I did adjust this the last time we talked about it. I told you the last time we talked about it, I showed you the adjustment. So let me just put it to you like that. But obviously, it's our weekly resistance level. So just let it go. Like, let it go. Is it gonna break out? If it keeps hammering at it, it has a good chance. Has a good chance if it keeps hammering at it. And isn't that beautiful? You see that beautiful mean reversion, but we talked about all that. I sold out on hyperliquid before the good part of this pump even damn started. Oh, we were somewhere where? Right in here. I know we had got back above the major volume low, but I was like, I don't know what was I thinking. What was I thinking, man? I closed out all of them. All of them. I was trying not to be greedy. And obviously, it was the time to be greedy. But I was trying not to be greedy. I was like, dang, that's a strong pump. Let me take my money and run. But that resistance right here, I mean, do what y'all want to do with that. I can't do it. I can't do it. But that bullish undertone right here, I understand why it keeps going up and up and up and up, because it's putting in this, this, you see all this little bullishness down here, all these little bull dips in here. So maybe one more attempt or something. I don't know. But when it does roll over, please believe I'm gonna be right here for it. I'm gonna be right here for it. But aside from that, that's the 4 hour. Let's take a look at a 12-hour time frame for it. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, it looks so good. Hold on, let me come back over here to this four. I need to block this. I need to make sure that this is blocked. I changed settings, so of course this doesn't line up anymore. I don't even know how I had my stuff in here. There we go. You can see we did that break right there. Oh! With that golden pocket tap right there. Was so long, and then cut it. Just said I'm tired. I'm tired of the pump. Who does that? Who does that? Who gets tired of the pump? I mean, as far as this time frame is concerned, oh, it looks good. I ain't gonna lie. But if I can just get it to come down some, I mean, I just can't buy the top. I cannot top blast it. But dang, this looks good. You give me something back down here. I'd appreciate it. In fact, give me 66. Give me 66. Stop holding these dang on highs over here. I know this what you're doing. Look at that. Yeah. Come down. That looks good on 12 hour, 24 or daily, however you want to put it. A little bear div. A little berry bear div. So yeah, something like 73. Okay, yeah, somewhere back in here around this high right here. I could appreciate that. I could get that. Uh, I can get something like that, then I'm a buyer. Because maybe there is a chance that it actually breaks that channel, or just ascending trend line, because we don't have a second tap on the bottom side, unless it rejects here and then it runs all the way down here. We don't have that. We got a mid band, I think a mid band reversal, but no bottom tap down here, so that's just not gonna work for me to call it a channel, even though it's parked inside of one. Um, but something like this would be a good buy. It's just not coming right now. And then on the weekly time frame, yeah, I mean we're too late on that weekly because we've already played that, and trust you me, I've given those setups. I've given those setups. So maybe you kept yours. I've given multiple setups on Hyperliquid. I don't have anything right now other than to say if it can come back into here or something like that. Maybe there's something there. I can't do this. You see how high it is? Like that. That ain't something you buy. It's just not something you buy. That's something you're looking to fail. It's not something you buy. It's something you short if you got the wheelhouse to take the short. But if you don't, then you just wait on the pullback to get a long. But you don't buy up here. Don't top blast that, please. If you watch this channel, please do not top blast that. Do not top blast it. And then I'm back in BNB, which is struggling up here. Let me extend this out. I'm just going to do this for now. So struggling here at a high point right here. But I am in this. I'm not gonna lie on this one. I did top blast this one. Not top blast it, but I actually ended up taking the entry right here. And then it came against me, which I only put in a small percentage because I knew I was trading it off of the 4 hour time frame. I wasn't looking at the 15 minute. After I realized I needed to zoom out, I did, but I did it because over here I was looking at it, and I should have taken it at where we were looking at because we were looking at the entries in here. But I was late to the party on. Hold on, where are the loan entries at? Let me see why this one isn't showing up. No, it wasn't this one because I already did that one. And of course, this was the loan entry that I gave and put it on X. And I was in that one. I got stopped out on this one. Moving my stop loss. I got stopped out right there. And I just didn't re-enter on it. I got stopped out in profit. But look at all that money. Look at all that money. Look at all that money I missed. It's too late now. We had the loan entry set up for we had some loan entries set up. I know we were looking at the value area low right here, and then we were looking at I think right over here around this one, but I don't see them. I don't see them. I don't know why they're not here, and it shouldn't have changed anything with those, but I don't see them showing up. Unfortunately, I don't see them showing up. So Um, but I'm back into the long. I was trading it off of this 4 hour time frame, and this setting in here is different. It was this. I'm just gonna take that signal line away, even though it's nothing wrong with that signal line. I actually like that signal line. I had an alert go off. Where was I at? I could have sworn it was this 4 hour time frame. Was I on a 1 hour time frame? 2 hour? Let me see, where was I at when that alert went off on me? Oh, I think I was on this 1 hour. Yeah, I was on this 1 hour. I can tell you for sure I was on this 1 hour. This right here was actually pushing up through here. You see how it tapped it and then it rejected? It was pushing through it. And see, I was late. You see how far away it was from that trend line anyway, which is fine. So I ended up entering right there. And I really needed to just take the entry from down here. And we had these freaking entries on the chart, and they're not here anymore. I did not delete those entries. I guess you have to go back and watch Tuesday's stream or something like that. But yeah, we had those entries in here, and that was one of them. Um, yeah, I just didn't take that entry right here. I didn't take that, and I should have. I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait. I don't want to. And the reason why I was waiting too is because the 4 hour MACD is not showing any relative strength right now. Like we're just pushing up, but it's not showing any relative strength. And so um, I wanted to see if momentum could at least change on one of the other uh, mediocre time frames. So the 1 hour, and then it did that, and then it rejected. And then I tried to do a buy order right here off of the value area low, but it didn't trigger. So I'm still stuck with the little bit that I had in here. So I'm not in profit right now. I don't think I'm at break even on, yeah, I'm at break even right now. So I shouldn't have waited. I should have just did it, especially considering how far away. See this right here. This was just gonna bring this up a little bit. This was bear divs, and that was another thing for me too. Like I don't like to play around with the bear div. Eventually, the undertone down here plays out, but when it starts out like this, I tend to leave it alone until I can see the momentum breaking. And so this threw me off to be like, don't do it. And then it must have just followed behind Bitcoin when it did that push up, and then it rejected on me. And yeah, so that's what that's like. Um, and then I started watching Ave, which was interesting because that might be a good play if it hasn't already pushed up. It may have. It was looking good to me. It was looking like one that you could actually get into, but I wanted to see if it could pull back a little bit more in here. Yeah, I was looking at it when it got this drop right here. I wanted it to actually come down a little bit more and tap into here. It didn't do it. It was going to fill in a little bit more of this wick is what I was looking for here for Ave, but um, I most certainly don't want it to get a bearish cross right here. It could be a bearish cross that doesn't last. That's something else to think about. But it could be something worth buying. It didn't quite reach that resistance right there either. Perhaps it could be a four, a wave four in play. Because you know how I like something like this. So as long as it comes in and it holds in here, I'm interested. I just didn't do it off of that first tap right there. Um, we'll give this one some time to work. If it works and hold through here, then it can be a good buy. I think it could. It's a little too high. And then I didn't like this right here either. The same thing I'm saying to you about BNB. I don't like this part right here on any of the altcoins on their 4 hour time frame. They all look like this. They're holding up because they keep putting in bullishness underneath. But I didn't like any of this. But like I said, it can look like it wants to cross, but it hasn't validated anything like that. It can get really close and then just turn back up. Or maybe it's just a quick dip and then turn back up. But I like the 382 50% Fibonacci retracement level to say that this could get an extension to the upside. And I think I had worked some stuff out over here. I guess I didn't. I'm gonna turn that off. Turn that off. And just if I can get what I'm looking for, right? Because it requires that. So if I'm here, if I can get something like that, then that would be what I would be looking for, something like that. And if not that, and I'm just gonna go with this one right here again. Let me make sure I didn't have a need to draw it from any other one. Nope, I'm gonna stick with this one. Um, but this right here, let's just say I use that, which I don't think that that's gonna be it. Then this would be my zone right here. And that's something that I can look for on an up move if it holds right here. And let me just go to a weekly. And see, that's a pretty shallow retracement I would be looking for. That's just a 236. No, it's already hit the 236. So maybe I can come up, maybe it'll come up a little bit more, or maybe I just need to um, let me put this on a daily so I can see what my pivot. No, it still puts me up there. Still puts me right here. I'm just trying to see if golden pocket or something like that comes in with that. Yeah. So yeah, just that little extra boost back up here into that 786. Because this is what the problem is right now. It's these lows through here. And maybe it'll go higher. Um, if I can get the entry that I'm looking at for it. I actually like this one. Yeah, there to there. I don't know if we have any compression. Yeah, we're gonna start to tighten down right here. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of time, see how it holds up right through here around the 30 RSI read. Um, yeah, I like that. So we'll see how we handle the compression right here because it could happen sooner than that. This is one to be on the radar for. As soon as I see it, I'll say something. I don't see it all the way right now, but as soon as I see it, I'll say something. I'm just gonna allow it to try to hold this compression through here for now. All right, guys. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm still struggling right here a bit. Bitcoin probably should have taken that short. Mm, thought about it, didn't do it. It looks good everywhere else though. At least until that's done. Maybe a little head and shoulders. Maybe. If this was our lower high. If that was our lower high, then we got some. And I'm gonna look for something like this to get filled. If that was our lower high. Why I didn't look at my zone? with the 786 in the golden pocket. We had just looked at that, but why didn't I look at my range? I was looking at it, but I was thinking right here into here up to there. Why I did that? Why was I looking up that high? I must have been looking at it from another time frame as well. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I wish there was a way for me to take this off when I'm not using it. Like this is a case where I'm not using it, and all I can do is highlight it out because all I want to see is what's up here and what's down here. They should add a click to turn that off. That would be nice. I'm going to make that a suggestion. I want to turn off VWAP. Because I know that's what we were rejecting yesterday, right underneath here, that VWAP. But this is the consolidation range right here. So this should theoretically be our highs, and this should be our lows. The lows are matching. Um, uh, anyway, um, just a failed breakout. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, it looks like it might hold up. Looks like it might. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.